Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. The last two videos, just have to say this beforehand, the last two videos that I put out, I think they were being cut off. I'm pretty sure one of them got cut off at a certain point. I've been trying to make extra videos for everyone while they're at home, just to give them something else to do, something else to listen to kind of pass by the time. I've been overloading my computer a lot. I actually was kind of like pre-preparing videos, and in the end, I at one point had about, I'm not joking, around like 60, 70 tabs open, not in one window, but just in general. There were multiple windows that each had about 7, 8, 9 tabs inside of them, and yeah, so apologies for the cutting off. I'm gonna try and get it together, or rather change the format or something, just so that cutoff doesn't happen. Anyway, that was an explanation for that. To start things off, after failing to gain above $6,400 on the 22nd of March, Bitcoin bulls spent the remainder of the day struggling to bring the digital asset back above $6,000. At the time of writing, Bitcoin trades slightly below $6,000, give or take, and many traders anticipate further downside as the current situation continues around the world. As mentioned by previous analysts last week, crypto traders, along with those in the traditional markets, are keeping a close eye on how markets and investors respond to the assorted stimulus packages being prepared by governments around the world. It says if investors feel the financial aid packages are sufficient enough to meet the needs of the citizens and corporations, that they are likely to begin bargain shopping for stocks that are expected to recover when this is all over. A lot of people. So for the first thing, U.S. futures have gone down once again. This is in part, I guess, to be completely expected. If anyone had high hopes that this would be over today, don't know what to tell you. It is expected that within the coming weeks, stocks may continue to see a downtrend. We spoke about this about a week or so ago as well. Told you a number of people have been coming to me, like friends and stuff like that, asking me which stocks they should buy. I think they know I'm into finance, but maybe just not what kind of finance. So a lot of people are, I don't want to use the word bargain shopping, or kind of looking for, but like it's the same exact thing in the other. I guess maybe this is also why we saw the a lot of the cryptocurrency websites now talking about like Tesla and Apple and stuff like that as far as their stocks. I think people think that these things will continue to drop in value and therefore will be seen as undervalued. On top of that as well, cryptocurrency prices, of course, right now are down because fear. I can't give you an exact answer, but it's fairly obvious that everyone right now is a bit confused. No one knows where to really put their money. So a lot of money is being taken out of different markets simply because you know what's going on. Anyway, we'll see in about a good 6, 7, 8 hours. Time of me making this video when exchanges begin to open in North America. What exactly is going to take place and where all of this is going, and I guess the anticipation of the fact that cryptocurrency prices might also take a hit. Once again, it's not just crypto that's being affected, it's everything, and not some things, it's everything. Every single thing on the planet is being affected price-wise. What a great way to start the video, so optimistic, right? Anyway, without further ado, let's move on. Next up, crypto hedge fund Adaptive Capital is shutting down The Block, has learned. In an investor letter reviewed by The Block, Adaptive said that it plans to return remaining capital to its limited partners following a steep drop in Bitcoin's price during the 12th and 13th of March during trading session. Adaptive, they said, has made the decision to close operations and return the remaining funds to investors. We are convinced that the risks of continuing operations in such an unstable environment outweigh the potential benefits. The price of Bitcoin fell by more than $1,000 on the 13th of March. Following a period of relative calm for the digital asset compared to the U.S. stock market, the Dow Jones Industrial Average had been in a free fall since the beginning of the month. expect to hear more things like this. I think a lot of the more major cryptocurrency funds will weather the storm a bit better than others. I think this is from the outside looking in, of course. I feel like this is going to be the similar reckoning from 2018. A lot of companies got into cryptocurrencies late in 2017, hoping to make a buck. Not saying that this specific institution and or company is doing so, but it's more like a lot of people got into crypto at the end of 2018, 17, somewhere around that time frame, the beginning of 2018, hoping to make some money from the hype that was in the market. I think the very end of 2019 saw that exact same thing kind of happening. A lot of people were like, okay, it's believed that crypto was poised to go up even higher, Bitcoin making money, yada, yada. This is supposed to happen. And then at some point, markets dropped. And I think a lot of the newer companies who got into it were kind of, I guess, maybe shaken. Not expecting prices to have fallen. So, along with a lot of mom and pop shops around the globe, a lot of crypto, as a crypto hedge fund, I think, this is like 2017, 2018. A lot of people get into the market assuming that things will not go up forever, but no one can really predict the future anyway. There are a couple of hedge funds. This is one of the major ones, Adaptive Capital. They're going to be shutting down, and I assume, give it around my time frame, August or September, we'll probably hear about a lot of companies that shut down who are then going to be looking to reopen if market conditions have become more favorable. Next up, Bitcoin's status as a safe haven was threatened recently when its price fell in line with the global stock market. Supposedly, nope, doesn't even say that. It says suddenly, why can't I read? Suddenly it was perceived as a more risky asset, with investors seeking safety in stable coins and in cash. But a report by the crypto exchange known as Coinbase published yesterday begs to differ. While it acknowledges that Bitcoin does sometimes correlate with traditional markets, it often goes completely the other way. A value of 1 indicates a perfect positive correlation, while a -1 indicates a perfect negative correlation. They said Bitcoin's historical correlation with the S&P 500 swings wildly between 1.00 and -1.00, seemingly positive correlated at times and negatively correlated during others. Wow. This means Bitcoin has been largely uncorrelated, okay, with major stock markets indices throughout its history. Here's a little chart that they created that looks like a monster's mouth, like teeth. To compare, Coinbase found that the S&P 500 was almost always correlated with the Dow Jones Industrial Average, while Bitcoin was highly correlated with Ethereum. But there's one thing they do have in common right now, and that's increased volatility. They say by measuring 10-day volatility, the S&P 500 has recently spiked to levels that rival Bitcoin's typical range. The S&P 500 volatility has increased substantially in recent days, and so has Bitcoin. Here's the actual report right here. It's called Bitcoin's Uncoupling from Uncorrelated. I myself, and even more so, I guess, thank you Coinbase for releasing this information, especially the news that we had that Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency markets prices were only moving the way that they did the last couple of weeks because bears were selling off their coins, which means that it was a potentially coordinated effort to bring the cryptocurrency markets prices down, and then for people to be able to swoop up less expensive coins during the following days. I wonder what would have happened organically to Bitcoin's price during a lot of this action. I mentioned before in another video years ago, before we had the rhetoric or the idea that we needed rich people in our market to save us, whenever something negative happened to stock markets or other countries around the world economically negatively, Bitcoin did well for like a while. It wasn't like a jump and then a slam back down. It was like a constant going up. And this is why if you look back, especially at, I mean, you have time. We all just have time now. If you look at old documents on Google or old newspaper, like news articles online, and you look at the worsening situations in other countries back then, you would always see that at the same exact time, this also correlates directly as to when Bitcoin was going back up in price. And then there was always a fearful situation because, my opinion, people kept on putting negative, I don't want to say negative energy. I think it's always a situation whenever markets seem to be doing too well, especially the cryptocurrency market. This is when we always see a huge uptick in the amount of articles or Bitcoin's too hot. Is Bitcoin going to fall? There was that website before. You can check how many times that Bitcoin has been declared dead. Like they actually have, I think, every single reference for when someone has declared. It's been hundreds of times. So a lot of the times, especially because we saw the other bankers, institutions, and stuff like that talk negatively about Bitcoin and our cryptocurrencies, and then the prices would also go down because these people know that they have weight to their name and weight to their company, and therefore people would perceive cryptocurrency as more negative if they said something. So I think a lot of the times the actual movements in Bitcoin's price have probably very rarely actually been organic. It's also the same exact reason for those of you who don't know, this is the really interesting part. A couple of months ago, we had actual information that one of the former head of the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, or one of the other letter things, came forward and said that the entire reason why Bitcoin futures were allowed through is because the market was too optimistic. The entire idea was that prices were going up not too fast or too high. Well, yeah, I guess the prices were going up too high for them and they didn't want it to really catch on. So something that they didn't want to push through anything at all before, they decided to push through Bitcoin futures when everyone was asking for an ETF, because they knew that people within the futures market would be able to bet against Bitcoin and therefore push the price of Bitcoin down. So a lot of this has been, I dare not even say minimal efforts. A lot of this has been coordinated efforts to make sure that the wider cryptocurrency market kind of remains down and or hampered, because even the news that we saw in the last video, or the one of the two that I made yesterday with the guy from the that might have been the part that got cut off in the video. It was from the guy from the Bank of England. That was the part that got cut off in yesterday's video. Crap. He was pretty much discussing his now new love for central bank digital currencies, and he thinks that we should all have central bank digital currencies. And it was the quotes that it had from him were like, I don't think it's a bad thing. What I think we need to do is make sure that we stem or stop the growth of cryptos, especially those that may be along the lines of like stable coins and or social media platform coins, which is exactly kind of what's going on right now. Like we've seen Kick and Ken and Telegram token and all this other stuff being kind of attacked, if you will, like the day before they were going to launch, like legit the day before they were going to launch. They received these, not summons, but like these letters of like, don't do what you're going to do, because it's a lot. The point being, to get kind of back on track, I'm never really on track anyway. A lot of the growth of the cryptocurrency market, though I think we're told not to think so, has probably put a lot of fear into the traditional markets themselves. And this is why other negative things like futures have been allowed to be pushed through to kind of make sure that the cryptocurrency market in some sort of way remains in check. There was also that billionaire in 2017 who said, we're going to tame Bitcoin. You can Google it. Take out your phone or other device and type in, we will tame Bitcoin. You'll see the guy's face. So I even now, any type of correlation that we're having has been like a falsified correlation. I'm sure there was maybe, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Bitcoin would have seen anywhere from a 5 to 10% drop over the course of the last couple of weeks as fear does permeate into other systems. But I think there's no real correlation. Bitcoin is actually, the ideology behind Bitcoin is made to be able to do well during periods like this. When we hear that governments are actively printing $1.5 trillion, Bitcoin tends to do well, because we know that there's a set supply of Bitcoin. You cannot print more Bitcoin. We can see inside of the network exactly when there's going to be less Bitcoin printed. And this is why I, once again, always remain bullish, because it's the actual fundamentals. If Bitcoin changed, if there were suddenly 4,800 million Bitcoin, I will go, okay, now it's time to think about things differently. But Bitcoin hasn't changed. It hasn't changed in 11 years. We know exactly what the network is like, what the network's going to do. It's all timed. It's basically a clock. There are a lot of people who are now referring to Bitcoin as like a type of timekeeping device, because this is kind of also what it does. Anyway, to jump away from this topic, I think that's pretty much all that I had to say. We'll see as the time goes on, but it's always, I don't want to use the word nice. I think it's interesting to know that nearly every time that there's been a major downward movement in Bitcoin, it's because people have been pushing the price down. And I'm not sure if they're trying to either just scoop up more crypto or trying to make it seem as if there is a direct correlation. But we've known before in the past, before, once again, all the rich people got into the market, that, Bitcoin and the rest of the market tends to do extremely well during times of crises. Here's the actual article from Coinbase. I think I already read that. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin's halving is due in 7 weeks, and historically, it has triggered a massive bull run. The collective digital asset industry has been on edge lately, as the community has been dealing with major price fluctuations. Last week, the crypto market cap lost over $43 billion, and since then, many tokens have registered new all-time lows over the past 12 months. The previous two halvings took place under different market conditions, and Bitcoin is currently bracing itself for the reward reduction under a drastically different scenario. A recent study by Gate.io explained the influence of Bitcoin's halving. The report indicated that on both previous occasions after the halving, Bitcoin's price and its hash rate managed to surge after initially witnessing a minor drop. I mentioned that all to you before. A lot of people, there are two sides of this equation. People think that when the halving is close, that Bitcoin will surge. The other side of that is that people say that after the halving, Bitcoin will surge. I'm of the mindset that it's going to be number two, especially with things how they currently are around the world. I think we may, in around 5 or 6 weeks, start seeing an uptick on the amount. This is a very big halving. This is the halving that once again gets us below the inflation rate of all the other fiat currencies in the world. This is why, partially why, it's very big. This one and the next one are meant to be like astronomically important. Not to say that the other halvings won't be in the coming future years, but this is one that people have been focusing on since I first got into crypto. I think we're going to see a movement up in price just based off of hype, off of the anticipation, that thing, especially if in 7 weeks, pretty good time frame. In 7 weeks, if the stock market starts to do a little better, no one knows. I think we'll see a little push up in price. I don't know if we'll pass by 10,000, but I'm expecting a dip almost immediately or the day before or after the halving has happened. It's happened to many other coins. Many other coins, especially, have had halvings, or they're so-and-so reduced, or whatever the case might be. The price goes down and everyone's like, oh, well, that was short-lived, not understanding that the effects of the halving are to take place over the course of the next 4 years. Like, once it happens, it's more of it comes as a supply shock. People usually don't realize the effect of the shock once it's hit them. It's more like about a good 4 months later, everyone is kind of like, why is the price going up? Why is it more difficult to mine? And everyone slowly gets the news, because I think a lot of people think that the halving is just going to be some type of like a party fiesta event, not that it's going to. Anyway, the point being, I think it's going to happen after, and I'm giving it the time frame. If the I think it's May, like the middle of May, I think it's expected to actually have. I hate that word because the L is there. I'm giving it around July, August, when we'll start seeing the upticks. And this is why, once again, all the other people who've been measuring and stuff like that in the stock to flow all give us the general time frame of the end of this year or the end of next year for the wide swing between $50,000 to $100,000 per Bitcoin. The first halving took place on the 22nd of November, 2012, and the second halving took place on July 9th in 2016. According to the charts below, the S&P 500 market was doing well 6 months prior to the event on both occasions. In 2012, it was up by 11% before halving, and in 2016, it was up by 14.74%. At the moment, if the S&P stock stabilizes, the asset will be carrying a 21.57% loss over 6 months before the Bitcoin halving on the, I assume that's the 20th. They wrote 2OTH, like not a zero, like an actual O. So 20th of May. Although Bitcoin is assumed to be an uncorrelated asset, it has been highly correlated with traditional stocks in 2020, as reported earlier. But we also know that was also fraudulent because it was mainly whales moving around coins and or putting in sell orders. So what happens? What's going to happen? This is the big question. We have been preparing for this for the past year and a half. A major talking point on this channel and many other cryptocurrency spaces has been the halving. I think we've been thrown about a good 15 curveballs. I don't think 2020 has just given us one. It's like, one of those machines that kind of just like shoots baseballs at you. There's about 15 of us. There's 15 machines pointing at all of us right now, and they're just kind of on full blast. I'm interested. Of course I'm interested to see what this is going to do, how this is going to take place, and if there will simply be I think hopeful thinking is that at some point people will become more enlightened and get into the cryptocurrency space in difficult times, but I think it usually takes a while. I still firmly believe that a lot of people won't get into Bitcoin and crypto until prices are higher, because that's just usually how things go. Count yourself lucky, in my opinion, if you are in the market, especially around areas like this, especially if you've been able to catch the dip, as it were. I still don't believe that a lot of people will get into the market until we hit around 10, 12, 13, 14,000 again. That's when there's like a huge spike in interest. And then also by the time we're nearing 20,000, this is when you should expect those calls from your family members who you haven't heard from in about 2 years as to how to buy some Bitcoins, and if you know the right place, because this is how it always happens. And I think at this point, it only fuels the demand even more because the price is up. The supply being created has been cut in half, and there's more of a supply and demand shock. Anyway, it's fascinating. Something that we worked up to for a while is now facing a big question mark. What takes place at Bitcoin's halving when the entire world economy is in the John? Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Bitcoin's recent sell-off has pushed prices on the top cryptocurrency by market cap into a historically, I think it's supposed to be into and historically, doesn't matter, attractive zone, according to one indicator. Prices fell from 10,200 in mid-February to 12-month lows below 4,000 last week, dashing many hopes for a strong rally ahead of the 2020 May halving reward halving. However, with the price slide, a key indicator called the pool multiple has declined to levels suggesting the value of newly issued Bitcoins on a daily basis is quite low compared to historical standards. Put simply, these signals appear to show the cryptocurrency is now undervalued. Wow, I didn't see that coming at all. The pool multiple is calculated by dividing the daily issuance value of Bitcoin in US dollar terms by the 365-day moving average on the daily issuance value. Daily issuance refers to the new coins added to the ecosystem by miners who receive coins as rewards for validating blocks on the blockchain and keeping the network safe. Miners usually cover mining costs by selling coins into the market. The pool multiple slipped to 0.41 on the 16th of March, the lowest level since the 17th of January 2019, and was last seen at 0.47 according to data provided by blockchain intelligence firm Glassnode. The metric is now hovering in the green zone, or the range between 0.3 and 0.5, which has marked bear market bottoms in the past. Historical data also shows the indicator enters the green zone in the last leg of the bear market, following which the bearish momentum weakens. You may notice a trend in this video. There's a lot of bullishness. At least, no. There's a lot of bullishness, bullish sentiment, mentality within the cryptocurrency space as of late. A lot of people, and even just more so, there's two sides of the coin, kind of, if you kind of want to look at it this way. I myself and many other people believe that focusing on Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is very undervalued right now. None of the actual fundamentals for Bitcoin have changed. Once again, we know how many coins there are. We have a rough estimate of that there's at least between 4 to 6 million coins that are lost. We know that the halving is going to take place. Nothing with Bitcoin has actually stopped. Even if transaction fees end up going up, that doesn't stop the actual fundamentals of the cryptocurrency space or Bitcoin. The other side of that being is that we've seen before, and it's funny how I guess thoughts flow through people. I was watching a video about this investor. There's a guy who is he's a stock investor. I don't invest in stocks, but I saw the video. I was like, cool. I clicked on it, and he actually goes through his daily portfolio, which has not been doing, of course, too well over the last couple of weeks, but he showed charts of, I think, 5 or 6 other recessions that we ourselves have been through, or maybe our parents and grandparents have been through, and he showed that they don't last forever, because nothing lasts forever, even negative things. So the situation then becomes, what we're currently going through will not last forever. At some point, it will end. At some point, stocks and other TV shows and financial whatever will begin to mention, this stock looks really undervalued. This stock is going to so-and-so. We will start to hear about new partnerships and new this and new mergers and new so-and-so. We'll start to get the news that things are getting better, that things are slowly, hopefully returning back to normal. And then we end up getting the news. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's always this, if not now, then, if that makes sense to you. If it won't happen now, it will happen eventually. So I think a lot of what I've been trying to, I think myself as an investor, deal with is the value of what I own falling, but also the realization that in 2008 and 2009, we were also all grabbing our heads and pulling our hair out over the idea that this was it. Everything was over. My money's gone. What's happening with everything that I invested in? And then by 2012, the bull market was back in full swing and everyone's kind of all happy again. So I don't think this will take years. I hope not. But at some point, things will kind of pick back up. So there are, and I think one of the major things is that, I don't know, I think is that despite all of this, is that we still see a huge bullish sentiment surrounding all of this, simply because, once again, and I know it's not that it's difficult for people to grasp, but I think a lot of times when we hear about fear and panic, we ourselves fear and panic because we're told by other people to fear and panic. The fundamentals for the cryptocurrency market haven't changed. Bitcoin as a system has not changed. Nothing has, like, over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks that stocks have been going down, Bitcoin hasn't been any slower than it's always been. Bitcoin hasn't issued more or less coins than it was going to. Bitcoin, like, there wasn't a period or point where you weren't able to send money from Canada to South Africa. Like, it's the exact same system, just with this sentiment that's kind of flowing through the air and this negativity that we have. Anyway, I myself remain bullish. Nothing has really changed, and the interesting part will always be when things get better. How people are like, wow, I wish I bought back then, because Bitcoin won't stay at these levels forever. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, that's that news. And yeah, let's move on. To kind of finish things off in news that was really everywhere news, Sirius XM satellite radio host Randy Zuckerberg has been tweeting nonstop about cryptocurrency and blockchain over the past few days. She has been posting quotes from an 18th of March interview she did with 3 high-profile crypto experts. They spoke about Bitcoin, Ripple, and how blockchain will change the world. Randy Zuckerberg's first guest, for those of you, I think, did it say it? No, it didn't say it around here. She's Mark Zuckerberg's sister. Randy Zuckerberg's first guest was Meltem Demirors, Chief Strategy Officer at digital asset managing firm CoinShares, which has $750 million under its management. Speaking about how she first came into the crypto world, Demirors said that she went into a rabbit hole on Reddit and discovered that Bitcoin is not just about technology, but also has a strong physiological component. According to her, it's about the monetary policy, self-sovereignty, and rights of the individual versus the rights of the state. Being able to do what you should already be able to do just on your own time. You should all be able to control your own money and send money freely as you all wish. Here's the tweet that she sent out. She also highlighted Bitcoin's and other cryptocurrencies' main advantage. They don't require you to trust third parties. Ashish Birla, Senior Vice President of Product and Corporate Development at Ripple, echoed that sentiment. That Ripple is a company, it says Ripple is a company that focuses on using the cryptocurrency XRP for cross-border payments. In his opinion, the whole point of blockchain is that it's removing the intermediary, whether that be the banks or other financial institutions. This was something I saw a lot of. People were retweeting this from Randy Zuckerberg. It's the tweet that says, I found the Amazon of blockchain with Ripple. So speculation was abound that maybe she was in it, maybe she was investing into it. Who knows? The entire point was crypto news outlets were reporting that Mark Zuckerberg's sister was apparently or is apparently very heavy into the cryptocurrency space. She's very interested in it. So, I mean, in case you were wondering, I mean, waiting with bated breath, Mark Zuckerberg's sister likes Bitcoin and Ripple. Did that make your day? Well, I actually hope it did in some sort of way. Maybe you're a bit more optimistic than you were before, but sure. I don't know what else to say about that. So, yay, Randy. And I mean, she's already rich. Like, what does she need Bitcoin for? She can like buy islands. Anyway, awkward. Let's move on. As always, open. There we go. A very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Yasha Harari, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Josh Gorsica, Chongololo, Songololo, A Bibliophobia, Mr. Pickles, The Animal Reader, John Sarson, Nostromo, Barebones Mining, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mohair Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Brady Niels, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Milweezy, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Nicholas Runner with One Piece, One Love, Damian Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich, The 3, Vlad the Impaler, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day. Al has spaghetti legs. Yes to crypto. Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, ARRF Medic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and hold on. I have to sneeze. I see the long pause there. Thank you all very, very much for your support, and thank you to everyone who is a supporter of the channel. I do thank thee. It's interesting. I noticed a lot of those names on the second channel. It's really weird. I was gonna, I guess I'll give the shout outs now. Hey everyone. But I noticed a lot of the names are in the other channel as well, and I like always talk to them. Anyway, at the moment, the market is in red. It's kind of it's a bigger red than we would like to see, but this is once again stock futures are down, so it is anticipated that the stock market will go down, and maybe even then whales will begin to feast and push the prices of the crypto market down. When I woke up, I think Bitcoin was exactly at $6,003. It's currently at $5,810. I assume prices will go down. I'm going to try and catch the falling knife, as it were. If prices do continue falling, I don't even have a set number in my head. I think it's always like a one of those light bulbs in the old cartoons where you kind of like, price is too low. So I think I'll try and gauge it based off of that. Who knows? I'm surprised at the current resilience of the cryptocurrency market. We could be around a $1,000 Bitcoin, but we're not. It shows that there's still a massive amount of interest. There's still a price at which people will buy before they think that prices are too low. Like if Bitcoin hits 2,000, would you buy? Probably, because the price then seems too low. Same exact thing with now. It's kind of like I know I should buy now, but it also looks like prices will continue falling. So I think I'll try and wait for the fall. If I don't get it, then cool. At least prices are going back up, but at the moment they're all in the red. I think Leo is supposed to be a stable coin. I'm not sure. Like, it's always roughly around $1, but it's never like at $1. I think it's meant to be a stable coin. Maybe that's why it's in green. Yeah, all the stable coins are in green at the momento. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you're taking care. You're finding stuff to watch. You are try and be creative. Try and create something. Try and do something with your time. Yeah, can't think of anything else to say. I'm gonna start working on. First of all, I need to maybe go back to sleep. And then work on the second video. I will try to make a third video today. Takes a lot out of me. Takes a lot out of my voice. It's a lot of yeah. Anyway, thank you all once again. Rather, wait. What was it? Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.